reality. Now, our topic for today is how we will overcome this. How can we make God greater than money? You know what? When God sent His Son, Jesus Christ, He saw the current status of man. You know, the last book of the Old Testament, what does it deals with? It's about money. Before the New Testament comes, God saw the wickedness of man in terms of money. And most of the problems that people encountered in this world is related to money. Right? Power, possession, relationship, faith, righteousness, morality, everything is affected by this 5-letter word, M-O-N-E-Y, money. No? We tend to go away from our loved ones to work in a far country. Why? Because of money. Because we want to give them, support them, feed them, and we need to earn more money. And almost 90% of the people who are in jail is because of money. People steal. People kill because of money. People take drugs because of money. People do any kind of evil because of money. And the reason why God sent His Son is because the devil is using this money to deceive us. And people are suffering. No? Why do you think you have problems? There's one answer. Because I have lack of money. I have a colleague in the work. You know what he said to me? If only my salary was like this, then I will have no problems. Right? Did you think that same thing? No? If only I have this amount, my problems is solved. It's about what? It's about money. It seems that the trust of the people are not on God anymore, but on this money or possessions. Right? You know, the greatest obstacles in going to heaven, money, riches, wealth. If people loves wealth more than God, then you cannot enter into the kingdom of heaven. He said this to the rich man, right? He said, Lord, teacher, what I must do to enter into the kingdom of heaven? Jesus said, obey the commandments. And he said, I already did it. Now there's one more thing. Go and sell all your possessions and give it to the poor and follow me. man go away, heads bow down, because he cannot obey. Why? Because his possessions is so great that he cannot give up. He cannot give up just to get entrance into the kingdom of heaven. He cannot give up. So that's the big obstacles that people are facing in this present day. Now, there is only one way that man can overcome this great obstacle. This thing that keeps you from moving. You know, people said without money you cannot do anything. Yeah, many people said like that. Without money, you cannot even go in Qatar. Right? You cannot send your children to school. That's the necessity of money. But this money is so powerful that even your faith can be destroyed. That's why Jesus came, so that we can overcome. And this only happens by the grace of God. Now our topic is, how can we be empowered by the grace of God? We are born in the flesh, right? It's called, you are born under the law. The law of the flesh. And you are born under the law, and yet you must be living under the grace. In Romans chapter 6, verse 14, I was really enlightened by this verse. No? It says there, for sin shall not have dominion over you, for you are not under the law, but under the grace. Now, grace is no other than Jesus Christ. Grace is the power so that you can overcome the power of sin. Grace is about love. It's the love of God. Now, before I was thinking that if you are under the grace, you no longer need to follow the law. That's what my thinking before. Because you are free from the law. That you no longer need to follow the law because you are already under the grace. But I found out that it is wrong. It is wrong. Why? Because the only thing that enslaves you is not the law, but it is the sin. The sin is the one condemning you. The law only shows to us how sinful we are. But the sin is the one who is condemning you. You are a sinner. You did it again. No, you are not learning. No, you are saying you are a Christian, but you are doing it again. The sin is condemning you. Condemnation is not from the law. Condemnation is coming from the sin. Now, the grace is given so that the sin should no longer have dominion over you. No longer has a rule over you. Sin has no right anymore to condemn you because you are free from grace. Now, how does it happen? No? Sin can no longer condemn you because of the law, because we are justified by the grace of God.
Amen.
And this justification, when we commit sin, no, sin can no longer condemn you. Why? Because the price, the payment for the sins that you have committed is already given. Jesus Christ, the sin offering, the Lamb of God that takes away the sin of man, already died on the cross. So whenever sin comes, there is already a payment, a price paid already. So if sin comes to you, you sin again. The Lord Jesus paid for it. I just need to go and ask for forgiveness. That's why it cannot condemn us. That's why we are no longer living under the law, because sin can no longer condemn you. That's the truth. Now, if we are justified by grace, so that means we no longer need the law? That's the question now. If you are free by grace, do you need the law or no longer need it? That's the question. The answer is no, certainly not. Before the New Testament, before Jesus came, people are struggling to obey the law. No? They are trying. They want to do the commandments. They want to follow the commandments of Moses. Everyone tried their best, their effort to follow the law. But no one ever fulfilled it. No one. That's why it becomes a bondage. Why? Because sin is always condemning me. There's always condemnation. But when grace comes, we can now fulfill the law. The purpose of grace is not to remove the law. The purpose of grace is so that it can empower you to fulfill the law. In Matthew 5:17, Jesus said, "Do not misunderstand why I have come. I did not come to abolish the law of Moses or the writings of the prophets. No, I came to accomplish their purpose." So Jesus came to fulfill the law. He did not came and bring you grace so that you can no longer need the law. The law cannot be fulfilled without the grace of God. And when grace comes, you have the power to obey the law. Now, what do we do now? We as Christians, we claim to be Christians. Christians means followers of Christ. Right? You are identified with Christ. So if Christ fulfills the law, what do Christians should do? If you are identified with Christ, then whatever Christ did, you will do the same. Right? Now, because Jesus fulfills the law, we also need to uphold them. His grace will enable us to do it. You cannot do it alone. You need Jesus. That's why people are saying it's difficult to become good. It's difficult to become morally upright. But with Jesus, it's possible. Amen. By grace, you can do it. Without the grace of God, no one can uphold the law. But Romans chapter 3 verse 31 says, do we then, Paul is saying, do we then abolish the law by this faith? Because we are saved by faith through grace. Amen. Do we need to abolish the law? Paul said, of course not. Instead, we uphold the law. We will follow what the law requires. That's what Christians do. And you can do it by His grace. Now, what grace can do to us? You said you are weak. Oh, I'm always sinning because I am weak. I always fall because I am weak. And even Paul is also in that kind of state. He is suffering and he is weak. But you know what Paul said? And 2 Corinthians chapter 12 verse 9, his answer was, my grace is all you need. For my power is greatest when you are weak. If you say you are strong, you don't need God. If you say you are weak, then God's power, God's power will give you strength. Paul said, I am most happy then to be proud of my weakness in order to feel the protection of Christ's power over me. You know, you will only experience the power of Christ when you admit to yourselves that you are weak. Lord, I cannot do it. I need you. Lord, I want to obey, and I feel weak, and I can't do it by myself. I need you. And His grace is sufficient. His grace is enough. Just for you. Grace was given so that we can fulfill the law. Ang biyaya ng Panginoon ay binigay ng Diyos para magsunod mo ang kautusan. Now, God sent Jesus as a sin offering to condemn the flesh so that the righteous demands of the law might be fully satisfied in us. Is the word of God saying. The righteous requirement of the law can be satisfied in us through Jesus Christ. That's why Christians tend to change their lifestyle. Because you have the grace of God and it enables you to obey the law, to follow the law. That's why we can be morally upright before God. And even Ephesians says you are created in Christ Jesus to do good works because you can now obey and follow the law. Now, we are always praying for a breakthrough, right? Amen. Lord, I need a breakthrough. Kailangan ko Panginoon ng buwelo, panimula, breakthrough. But do you know what's really meaning of breakthrough? Breakthrough comes from the two words means break and through. And break means to destroy. And through means to pass. Before you can pass, you have to destroy something. Amen. That is a breakthrough. Amen. Now, if you are praying, Lord, give me a financial breakthrough. Before you can get a financial breakthrough, there must be something that needs to be destroyed. You know, what is it? The love of money. The love of money has to be destroyed. How? By returning the tithes to God. Then, only then, we will pass from lacking into running over the blessing from God. Because we put our trust in Him. It's not easy, but this is the only way you can have a financial breakthrough. There is a wrong thinking of financial breakthrough. And this is what? The wrong idea of financial breakthrough is, I will give to God, I will return to God once I'm already blessed. People are saying, I will be faithfully giving my tithes when I am already at a capable situation. I'm already blessed. I'm already rich. Then I can obey God. But that is a wrong idea. Wrong idea. Why? Because a breakthrough has to break something before you can through. You're getting me? Before you can pass through a financial breakthrough, there is something that needs to break first. What is it? The love of money. How can I have a love of money? I don't even have enough money. So how can I love money when I don't even have enough money? You know, the love of money does not necessarily mean you have plenty of money. Money, even you have small amount, if you want it more than God, then still it is a love of money. If you want to keep it because you don't trust God that He will provide, then you have the love of money. If you are worrying about what you have, Lord, this is only enough, and even if it's not enough, Lord, can you trust God? If you cannot trust God with what you have, then you are loving money more than God. Now, I was born by a father of farmer. My father was a farmer. And we don't own a land. The one that my father was tendering is somebody owns it. And these people trust my father that he will cultivate it and plant rice. When I was a little boy, I saw my father. Every time we have a harvest, no, he will prepare all the harvest, and he will separate the seeds for the next planting. He will separate. And after separate the seeds, the owner of the land will come to our house. And my father will begin to separate it, what is for the owner and what is left for us. And it was divided into 50-50. 50% for the owner and 50% for us. But who really is working to get these fruits, this harvest? Who? It's only my father. The owner did not do anything, right? But he was getting, sayaman doy. He was getting 50%. Sayaman ini. 50%, no, is for the owner. And 50% is for us. And my father was so happy. He was so happy. Right? Why? Because even the 50%, it is more than enough for us not to buy rice for the whole year. And because of that he was faithfully giving the 50% to the owner, they even entrusted him more rice fields. That some rice that we cannot eat for the whole year, we are selling it. That's the life of a farmer. Now, let's relate it to God. Okay. Who owns everything? God. Do you own anything? No. You never own anything. But why is it that when we are harvesting our labor, right? Oh, I work for it. Why is it that we're saying, this is all mine? Did you see the idea there? You did not own anything. You just came here on earth with nothing. No? Are you born with a sack of rice? No, right? which you don't have. Even teeth you don't have. You are born with nothing. And now you are claiming, this is mine. You have no ownership of anything. You just work for somebody's ownership. You are just working because God enables you to work on that. And whatever you harvest, it's not yours. It's God's. Amen. But why people are so sad when they hear the word 10% tithes? Oh, no. I cannot give it. I work for it. But it's not yours. It's not yours. That's the truth. Sad to say. I'm sorry to say. It's not yours. Even what you have is not yours. But why is it difficult for us to give it to the real owner? Why? Because of the love of money. Now, Jesus never stopped giving the tithes. Never. I was looking for it many times, because I studied it well. I saw it, there's no more Levites, no, and we don't need to give the tithes to the temple. There is no more temple in Jerusalem. There's no more tithes to give to the Levites. But when I read it in the Bible, even Jesus didn't stop giving the tithes. He did not stop. He even approved it and encouraged it. Let's read it. Matthew 23 says, he says to the Pharisees, no? What sorrows awaits you, teachers of religious law, and you Pharisees, hypocrites, for you are careful to tithe even the tiniest income from your herb gardens, but you ignore the more important aspect of the law: justice, mercy, and faith. That's the rebuke of Jesus. You should tithe, yes, but do not neglect the more important things. Now, what is the more important things? Justice, mercy, and faith. But he did not say, do justice, mercy, and faith, and do not bring the tithes. He says, give the tithes and do justice, mercy, and faith. Meaning, the tithe should never stop. There is a reason why. There is a purpose why. No? It's not about the church taking your money. No. That is not the reason why Jesus did not stop giving the tithes. Now, let's see. Tithes belongs to God. Amen. God is the owner of everything. But only tithes, the tenth of our income, He requires from us. It is God's. It does not belong to us. It is God's possession. And only the owner has the right to decide on what to do on that. Only God. And even we are just following what God wants us to do in these tithes. No? And there is a reason why tithes is required. There's a reason. It is not for God, but it is for us. Now, in Leviticus, it shows that God owns these tithes. 10% of everything you harvest is holy and belongs to me. It does not belong to you. It belongs to me whether it grows in your fields or on your fruit trees. It symbolizes the source of our income. It does not belong to us. But because we are no longer under the law, if you fail to give your tithes, no longer condemns you. That's the beauty of the grace. Do not feel condemned or guilty if you did not give your tithes before. Do not feel guilty because the grace is there. But God doesn't want you to stop giving your tithes. There is a big reason for that, and you will see it later. Why? Tithes belongs to God. Second, God was honored in our tithes. He receives honor. No? God receives honor when we give faithfully our tithes, because it shows that we love God more than our money. Proverbs 3 verse 9, honor the Lord by giving Him your money and the first part of all your crops. When you give your tithes, you are honoring God. And you know, when you give honor to somebody, what will happen? You will see favor. Okay. God is the only master of our life. Do you have any master? Some saying, my boss is besides me. You have only one master. What? You cannot be a slave of two masters. You see, money and God is being compared here. You will hate one and love the other. You will be loyal to one and despise the other. You cannot serve both God and money. This is the reality, because people tend to make money as their master. You know, they said, if you have money, you control everything. That's the principle of the world. If you have money, you have power. If you have money, you can buy anything. And people are even buying men for money. I own you because I paid for you. I own you because I paid for your freedom. They use money as a means of ownership for anything, even people, right? Some people, when they are in, big credit or big debt, you cannot go against to the people you own anything, right? You are become a slave to them. Why? Because you own them. You own something. You cannot say anything, I give you so much. It's just like that, right? Some people will make you down because they give you money. So money becomes a master. But God said, you cannot serve two masters. It's either you left the other and you serve the other. You cannot serve God and money. Now, if God is your master, this is what happened. This is the purpose of tithing. We want all to be blessed. We want all to have financial breakthrough. We want abundant life. We want to have everything that we need. But it will not start unless you make God to work on your behalf. It will not happen unless God make it happen for you. It says that God can open the windows of blessing. And this is the truth. The Bible declares that there is a windows of blessing that God can open to anyone, anybody. He can open it to us. God can open the windows of blessing. It's called the gateways of blessing. And when it was open, you cannot even handle it. You see, I am the Lord, the all-powerful. And now I am challenging you. You see the word? I challenge you to put me into the test. Bring the entire 10%. the storehouse. What is the storehouse? It's the church. So if this is a command from God, that we should bring the tithes. Why we should bring? Because it does not belong to you. If it does not belong to you, you cannot decide on what to do on that money. It belongs to God. Now, when you bring it to the storehouse, there will be food in my house. And even in that house, you are eating on that house. Right? You benefit from it. It's not God who is eating the food in the storehouse. It's us. It's us who are benefiting on the 10% that we give back to God. Right? Now, what will happen when we do that? Then, only then, I will open the windows of heaven. Very clear. You want financial breakthrough? Then let God open the windows of heaven and pour out the blessing to you. But He cannot do it if you love money more than God. Some people say, I cannot give the tithes. Why? Because my salary is small. And even it's not enough to feed my family. How can I separate the 10? But do you know the principle of the water pump? The water pump. When it was connected to the source of the water, and you have the pump, you cannot get the water. With just the pump, you cannot get the water. What you need to do? You need a bucket of water to fill in the water pump with water. And only then he can take all the water in the well. If you need the water in the bucket, oh, this is only the water I need. There's only the water left. And I need to live by it. And somebody asks you, give me the water. Give me that bucket of water. No. If I give this to you, I don't have anything anymore. No, just give me the water. We will pour it into the pump. Without knowing what the pump can do. Right? So, if you understand what the pump can do, you will gladly give the bucket of water. Right? Because why? Because when you know that the pump can bring you more water than you have, you will give the water. Right? It's the same with God. If you know what God can do, if you give the tithes, the 10% that you are keeping with you, because you think, I will be lacking. Oh, my family needs this. My family cannot eat for 2 days or 3 days if I will give this. But if you know that if you give the 10%, if you give the tithes to God, He is like a pump who can bring more blessings to you. And this is running over. This is, you cannot handle this kind of blessing. That's what God can do. That's why tithes is very important to God. Because this is the only way He can open the windows of blessing. Amen. Now, the other thing that tithes can do is God can protect your source of income. Now, people are afraid of losing jobs. People are afraid that their company will go bankrupt. And also, people are making businesses and they want it to prosper. They want to reap the harvest. No? They want to get more profit. But you know what? There's a truth in the Bible that there is a devourer. The devourer is the one who destroys your source, your company, your work, your job, your farm. When the devourer comes, his intention is what? To destroy your source. No? The thief come, but to steal, to kill, and destroy. But I have come that you might have life and have it more abundantly. You see, there's a thief, there's a devourer that can come to destroy your source. But there is God who can protect you. And He can do that only if you remain faithful. That's the only way. Lacking is not a reason for not bringing the tithes. No, I'm in so much need. Lord, kulang pa ito sa kakainin namin. Kung ibibigay ko pa ito, paano na lang yung aking pamilya? Paano na lang yung pangangailangan namin? But can't you trust God?
Amen.
Can you give it to God? So that you can trust. You know, in the Bible, faithfulness is so important to God. If we are in need, God expect, no? If we are in need, God expect us to trust. On the next slide. Lacking is not a reason for not giving the tithes. If we are in need, God expect us to trust in His provisions.
Amen.
By how? By giving the tithes to Him. How can giving the tithes becomes a show of faithfulness or trust? It's easy to trust God if you have plenty. No? It's easy to give. If you have a million Qatar rial, wow. If you have a million Qatar rial, it's very easy to give 100,000 Qatar rial. Take it. I still have 900,000 Qatar rial. Very easy, right? But if you have 10 rial and you give the 1 rial, I need it, Lord. Right? You have to buy a kilo of rice. And the price of 1 kilo is 4 rial. And God told you, 40 dirhams is for me. I cannot buy 1 kilo of rice. Right? You always focus on the needs. People are focusing their minds on the needs, not on the one who provide to the needs. Who is the source of everything? The Lord. We are focused on what we have. We don't focus on the one who is giving. Focus on the giver. Not on what you have. He is the one who will provide.
Amen.
God knows best.
Amen.
Whoever is faithful in very little is also faithful in a lot. Faithfulness does not see on if you have many. Faithfulness is seen when you have small. God cannot see your faithfulness if you have millions. God can only see your faithfulness if you have small. That's the time you show your faithfulness. That's the time you can prove to God, I trust you more than this money that I have. So it's not a reason, Lord, I cannot give you tithes because I have small only. That's the more you need to be faithful. Because only that time God can see your faithfulness. Now, do you want to experience God's generosity? Now listen to this. Be a generous giver.
Amen.
Not when you're in abundance, but when you are in need. Generosity is not required if you have so much. It's very easy to be generous when you have so much. But generosity is required when you are in need. Why? Because that's the time you need God. When do you need God? When you have so much? People are not even looking or talking to God when they have plenty. But when they are in great need, he was not only kneeling, he was crying to God. Lord, please help me. I am in great problem. I am in great need. You're the only one who can help me. That's the time you cry. But did you show to God your trust? The time that you have something that you even think, or did you even consider that what you have is not all yours? It's God's. And there's a requirement before God can open the windows of blessing. And that is in your hand. If you keep it with you, you are limiting God's power. If you keep these tithes with you, you are limiting God in your life. You want God's power? You want God's generosity? Then be faithful. Don't keep it with you. That's the key in your hand. Give what is to God, and you will see His power. In 2 Corinthians chapter 8, verse 2, this is a Macedonian church. It says that they have been severely tested by the troubles they went through. Troubles in anywhere. But their joy was so great that they were extremely generous in their giving, even though they are very full. You know, when I heard one teacher teaching here, he said, when giving time, it's tithes in offerings, people tend to go to the toilet. I need to pee. It's time for me to pee. So we should put a guard on the toilet. But the generous giving is when the tithes and offerings is announced, or it will be near. Oh, it's giving time. I need to give to the Lord. You must be excited. You must be happy. You must be joyful. This is my opportunity to give to the Lord. And when you give it to God, God will be honored. And then only that time you will see. Giving should not be an obligation. It should be an opportunity. We should give with a joyful heart. Not because it was needed by the church. Not because God is watching you. No. You should give based on what you decide. I told you I'm a child of a farmer. And I know the principle of seed and harvest. If you seed small, you will harvest small. If you plant many seeds, you will harvest many. That's the principle of seed and harvest. Now, you want to reap more blessings. But how much seed did you plant? Oh, I want to receive more blessings from God. And when tithes and offering, he was in the toilet. You want to receive abundance blessing from God. Lord, you are praying, Father, I I need a good job. I need a good salary. Lord, I need a promotion. Lord, I need my family to be blessed. But ask yourself, are you really entitled for that? Did you find favor from God? Did you give honor to God? Ask yourself. If you want that, the key is in your hand. It's not with God. God is all powerful.
Amen.
God can do anything. But you are limiting God. You cannot get that blessing unless you become faithful with God.
Amen.
Each one should give whatever you have decided. But you should not be sorry that you gave. Sometimes, ay bakit ko ba na? No? Siguro pag namimili siya rito, dukot niya, sa halip na 1 real, ang nadukot niya 100 real. Nailagay niya, hindi niya natingnan. Naku, hindi niya pwedeng gawin. No? He was only trying to offer the 1 real, but accidentally, he get the 100 and put it there. Oops! I cannot get it anymore. Can you give me the change? We are expecting much, but we are not faithful enough. Giving is the key to God's blessing.
Amen.
Prosperity does not come to you if you are doing nothing. Now, do you believe that we have a generous God?
Amen.
We had a generous God who can bless us generously.
Amen.
God responds to us if we know how to follow the principle of His blessing. Remember this. The farmer who plants a few seeds will have a very small harvest. It's true or not? True. But the farmer who plants because he has received God's blessing will receive a harvest of God's blessing in return. If you will understand that what you have is a blessing from God, and you give back what God requires from you, then you will expect God's blessing. Blessing comes from blessing others. That's the truth. And in conclusion, medyo humaba. And conclusion, we are free from the law. And by grace, we can fulfill the law. That's true. Number 2, financial breakthrough will start if we put our trust on God and not on money. Number 3, whether we lack or in full, we should always return to God the tithe. Number 4, faithfulness is the key to God's blessing.
Amen.
And lastly, always be happy in giving. For God is honored by our